Yeah. You know what it is. Another episode of the Miller Experience Overtime. We got a great one for you guys today. Today we have our special guest back, Reverend Darrell James, my boy Soul Toucher, Victor, and you know the cowboy lover Craig. He be on the way. But before we get started, I want to thank you guys for supporting the content. And when I say supporting, you guys are beating up the comments like crazy. Y'all coming at me. I gotta invite y'all to the show. You gotta speak your piece, man. Just last Thursday, we was at 745 subscribers. We're currently at 767. So keep on liking, keep on hating. I love it all, ladies and gentlemen. Keep supporting, keep loving. We're gonna bring you guys great content. All right. Vic, what we got for the first topic?
All right. Two comments. Brandon T. Jackson goes off on fake black movements, and Charleston White, he said his spiel about lack of respect for hardworking men. I'm going to play a little bit of both videos. A second, if I can pull up it. Here it is. Shout out to the Art of Dialogue, the podcast.
That's right. That's right. You trying to get sued?
Oh.
You're not the leader. You're not the leader, nigga.
Let me try again.
I had brought up that point too, like a long time ago. He was talking about how they always tried to get like black entertainers in outfits. Like they
getting everybody in outfits, man. Black, white, niggas, Robin Williams, all these niggas is doing it. Stop the black shit. I'm done right now. If black people don't fuck all the black shit now. I'm done with it. I did that already. Nobody want to come. If you want to come together, we going to come together when we going down to motherfucking Legends and you want to spend $200,000. When it's time to buy a community center for the kids, you got to call your accountant. But what about this 200 grand we just spent at the damn strip club? I don't want to hear that shit about no damn black shit. We American now. Ain't no African American passports right now. Show me African American passport.
All right, let me play a little bit of Charleston White. And then I'll leave to you guys to discuss. There it is.
Black people. Stand up. You don't know none?
Not personally. I know some stand-up fathers.
Okay.
Yeah, I know some niggas that get shitted on because they poor, but they some good daddies, my nigga.
Okay.
Yeah. See, black people idolize and worship celebrities. Black people don't worship a nigga with a warehouse job that's paying child support every week and his car break down sometime and he ain't got no cyber truck. Black people don't worship that nigga. They don't clap for no nigga who just got his CDL. They clap for a nigga that's going to the league. So you tell me something since 1964 that black people have accomplished that we can be proud of collectively and stand before the world and stick our chests out. The rest of the world is laughing at us for our accomplishments.
Okay, I'll stop right there, and I'll put the links to both of those in the chat. But I'm just gonna let you guys. Oh, here comes Craig. But I'll let you guys. Whoever wants to start it off here.
Show me an African American passport.
That's
Brandon T. Jackson getting sick of false black movements, and Charleston White talking about a lack of respect for basically a man that's just a hard worker. He might not be a millionaire or in the league, but just basically just working hard. We don't really get that. Do hardworking black men get respect from the community? Let me put it that way.
Darrell, as a pastor, what you think? What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I was listening a little what Charleston was saying. You know, I know him for years. I know him before he blew up, and he was when he was more his language and how he expressed himself. And I understand. I mean, he explained why he went the route he went with the theatrics and a lot of the way he's verbalizing stuff now. Because it's almost like, you know, you can't pop off, become successful unless you become cartoonish to a certain degree and start expressing yourself in a particular way. But I kind of understand what he was saying, that, you know, like, you know, we don't celebrate the brothers that get their CDL license. Most people don't even know what a CDL is. And, you know, because, you know, as a community of people, but I don't think it's just Black people. I just think it's all over. I mean, I don't think the Anglo-Saxon or any other community, whether you're Indian or Asian, I really don't see it as I think that there are people that want to make things black and white, and I understand why, because of the historical narratives and the false information that has been kind of predicated on our community as whole. But we all know that we're not monolithic. We're not just, you know, there's different flavors. You know, we got lazy Black people, we got lazy white people, we got lazy Asian people. There's people are just people, but the stereotypes for African Americans seems to be this bubble that, you know, that we as a community are trying to break through. And so, you know, so you get the ideologies comes up of systematic racism and other things of that nature. But the hardest part is that vetting some of the complaints out. Like, you know, we only represent what, 16, 14, 15% of the economy. We only represent we're a small fragment of the economy compared to other ethnic groups. So, you know, I just think it's just I'm gonna be quiet here. I just think it's an overreach. I think it's conversation just to have conversation and to gin up stuff sometimes. And I think that sometimes people need to do. They need to make something and stir it up, and, you know, and create something where there's not nothing, you know. But
yeah, let me say this, right? I get what you're saying on that, but I think sometimes you got to live it by experience. And I'm gonna use this for example, just like with this whole my podcast and everything. I get support from majority of our people, and key word is majority. People you see right here, the main ones. The young man that gave me the connection I just told you about before the show started, him. Dude, unless I'm big time, when I try to get like sponsors or just a simple share or something like that, I got the other side support me, bro. I got Indians and white people supporting me a lot. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, but man, your question is there not to? I think people support what they want to support, what they like, and so
yeah.
I think that when you hit buttons and you press buttons and you're engaging people, like, you know, like I remember like one of the brothers, what's the brother that died? Dealing with I followed him before he started talking to women. The one that died.
Oh, you talking about I know you're talking about.
Kevin Sanders.
Yeah, Kevin Sanders. Yeah,
Kevin Sanders.
Yeah.
Okay, so I knew following, because, you know, the spaces, you know, like I'm in, you know, y'all know I'm in media. So in the media space, you know, I knew Kevin when he was just talking to brothers.
I did too. I was been following him too. When he started getting popular, I was like, "Oh, this dude's jamming out, man."
He wasn't big then.
Yeah.
Nobody was waiting. All of a sudden, when he started dealing with the female market and really going after them, all of a sudden, that's when he blew up.
Yeah.
So I think it's you know, I think it's time and chance. I think that, you know, so I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I wouldn't throw people under the bus, a group of people under the bus, because it may appear as though they don't support. I would just simply say that, you know, sometimes people, I think it's the content with the conversation, you know, like look at, like we were just talking about Charleston. Look, until he started acting like he acting, talking like he talking, nobody was saying. Now this brother done a lot of good work, good work. Nobody pay attention to that.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents on it, man. You know,
I think a lot of it is stirring the pot and finding your niche. It's about connection. And by the way, fellas, I apologize for being a little late.
Yeah, you a cowboy. Yeah, we understand. Go ahead.
No, you had to throw that in there. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I really do. I really think it's about finding a niche, you know, trying to find the people that you can appeal to. And once you find that, it seems like they tend to go far-fetched. And I think that's a part of what Charleston is. I mean, again, great fella, did a lot of things.
Yeah.
once he found that he can dive into something and people relate, they start relating to what he's saying, and he blew up. And that's truly what it is. A lot of people want to find their niche, and once they find it, they kind of massage it and do different things, and to keep it going, you have to add spark, a little spice.
Yeah.
And that's where he is. Not to knock a brother, because as long as you're doing you and you're not hurting anyone, then more luck to you. I mean, I'm all about people rising up. I'm not about that. Yeah, knocking a person down or making them feel bad about themselves. I mean, we get marginalized, just walking out in the street, going to our job.
Yeah.
So, I just feel like we should support one another, and if we feel like someone's doing something nefarious, call them out on it. Yeah.
So, what about you, bro?
Well, so getting back to not supporting black men, I do get where you're coming from, and yes, it's all across the board. It's not, just about black men. But if we take ourselves and look at ourselves, there's not a lot of support for the average black man. Yes, they touting celebrities, artists, this, that, and the other, who don't have much reach or are not reaching back to you individually, whereas that man or those black men in your community, they're right there with you. And if they're showing you a positive influence, you're not gravitating towards them or supporting them, but you're looking at Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, and all these other people who are popular or are exhibiting reckless behavior, and then our children are imitating that behavior as opposed to imitating this man with the CDL, or this man that's going to college, or this man that's, breaking his back to raise his family. There's not a lot of support there. So I get what he's saying, and I understand where y'all are coming from. But at the same time, it is a lack of support for the black man in the black community.
I would agree with you, but I would agree with you only on from a narrow perspective. I'll share what that perspective is, and I'll just say this: being a pastor, being somebody that's kind of integrated into, whether it be communities that are fraternal, being communities that are church organizations, clubs and things of that nature. I think the support breaks down when you don't belong, and a lot of people in society don't belong to anything. We deal with a generation, like especially right now, we deal with a generation that's heavily online. So, they go look for online communities, online people that kind of support what they want. But out in the world, when you're still out in the world, you don't really get to network and be involved with people to see the different, the differences in people. And I give you one example. My oldest son, for example, you guys know I'm raised up in the church, raised my kids up in the church, but my oldest son, taking like a little different way in life and taking his path and journey. And one of the things I'm always trying to get him to understand is that because he wants to go the entrepreneurial path, but I'm like saying, you can't be no entrepreneur and be void of community. You just can't be. You have to be inside of a community. You can't expect just to do business and people support you. You got to belong to a community. When you belong to something, I've been an entrepreneur all my life, and the reason why I've been successful, and I think I've been very successful in all of my endeavors, is because I always belonged to something. People knew what I do. Brothers knew what I did. So when I belong to something, not just go to work, I'm talking about belong. I contribute to the community. I'm a part of the community. So to me, like, for example, the church is one place where we see that. But there's it's not just the church, it's other organizations, there's other things that you can belong to become a part of where you're contributing your services. So I think that a lot of times when people don't get support, I think because they don't build themselves within the infrastructure community. It's easy to, I'm going to open up a landscaping business and I'm going to sit here and cry that people don't support me. And people don't know who you are. They don't know you. They don't know you as a person. But when people know you and they know what you do, I've never met somebody that didn't know what people do and say, hey, yo, man, I got somebody for you. I'll refer you to somebody. I know somebody. That's what we do. People are natural networkers, but there's a lot of people that pull themselves out of the network and then cry, like I can't get no support. So and now that still doesn't mean that we should be more ready. But I'm just saying, so in that particular area, I agree with you. But I think there's an area that a point of failure that people have who want support, but they don't belong to nothing. They don't belong. They're not supporting anything. They're not doing charity. They're not part of organizations. They're not, and I'm a big advocate for anybody that, hey, look, man, get involved with the schools, after school programs, things that are going on. Make yourself available and help build the network around you, and then see what happens,
What you think, Bill?
Yeah, I think, and I've found this that sometimes we can think in a very isolated way in reference to our communities. So when we're in the office of African American men, sometimes it can be real easy to just say, well, Black men, we don't support each other because we're not in a white community or an Asian community, we're not a part of those communities, and we think that those groups are doing what's not being done here, and not realize that other communities are maybe struggling with the same problems we're struggling with, but we're so isolated in our thinking. So it can be really easy to say, we don't support each other, and that may be true in an isolated sense. But I've seen that, and I've also seen, Black men that are scammers and schemers get support because they're in a community and they basically leverage that. So that's just kind of what I think. I mean, we all need to support each other, but part of that is also as an individual being a part of our community, like Daryl said, being in the community.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I mean, it's multi-layered. It's like an octopus with 1,000 arms.
Yeah.
What Daryl said is what everyone has said is a contributing factor to it. Then we also have to look at how individuals look at other individuals. Yes, you have to be a part of something, but you also have to allow people to be a part of something, and you also have to be proactive to be a part of something. So there are so many layers to that onion that we can peel it back till we get to the middle of it, and we're still peeling. But I think just as a Black community, we need to find that nucleus and gravitate towards that nucleus, reach out our tentacles and pull each other in, and not say, well, this is not for me, let me run out over here or not over here, because we think the grass is greener on the other side. But as long as we build our communities, we'll have that internal support to where we can grow and look at what Daryl is saying.
Yeah, when I came to and Ernest, you testify to this. When I came to South Carolina in 2017, it took me 2 to 3 years. I mean, I own Manning now. Mayor helped me with that, but I got over 10,000 people on Manning now that I'm going to be opening it up, and we're going to be broadcasting this on that coming in the new year. After I talk to Vic and Ernie X about it a little bit more, but that's 10,000 people that are subscribers. But that's just not because I built the site. It's because I inserted myself. Not only in the church and other organizations. When the mayor needed something for the city, boom, I was right there. I ain't worried about no money. I'm going to be a part. I want to be a part. I want to show my labor of love. But I inserted myself in the community because I'm an entrepreneur. I know how it works. You can't move like that and it not come back to you. So people begin to know you, and it built that way. So it wasn't like so when the police officer had his the boxing match,
Yeah.
I made sure I came out and filmed that. I wasn't trying to negotiate nobody no fees. I came and just did it pro bono, just to make sure that I kept myself visible. So I think that a lot of people cry, but as Soul said, it's layers. And I think that he said it best when he said there's layers. That's one layer. But as you keep going, you'll see other layers, and you keep pulling back, and you'll find out that, most people with the support we don't get sometimes is because of those layers that we're not doing, things that we're not doing, you know.
I think that personally, I think that a lot of times it's black men, most black men are doers, and they're reticent about speaking out because of an education standpoint. They don't feel like they know how to come across to garner relationships.
That's the point I was about to make, Craig. Yeah.
Huh?
I said I was about to make that point. You took the words right out of my mouth. Go ahead.
A lot of them don't. And from an educational standpoint, they feel like they might say something wrong or offensive or because of the way they were brought up or the way they speak. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like they don't really know how to cultivate a relationship in the community. You know, they're so used to doing. Like say they do a car wash to build or a barbecue or things like that. But, you know, they are doers, but they don't really know how to project an image of, you know, togetherness. Mm-hmm. They just do.
But that goes back to what Daryl was saying. You know, if you are part of something, there's somebody in there that can assist you with, you know, honing those skills. But, you know, I don't understand why, and I just have to stick with the Black community. I don't know why the Black community is so apprehensive of reaching in for that assistance instead of saying, well, I'm not a good speaker, so I'm just going to be a doer. And, you know, I might miss out on other opportunities because I'm not trying to belong. But again, if you try to be in it and people pull you in, you have everything that you have in that community.
But unfortunately, like we talk about the scammers and things of that nature, men have been burnt and don't feel like they want to reach out anymore. You understand?
We're in line. We know one. We know one of them.
And it could be family, not just someone, you know, that you're in the community and someone who actually have projected themselves to be one of the guys that wants to bring the community together and things of that nature, which again, as you and Vic, we know people like that.
Yeah.
But then you're burnt.
We know a school like that too.
Yeah. It's just like being scammed. You know, once you get scammed once, you're like, wait a minute, what did I do wrong? Let me reevaluate this. Let me reevaluate myself. You know, what was I doing? Trying to be nice, trying to be liked. You know, I need to work on being decent and kind and understand that you don't have to be liked, just be respected. You know? But being scammed, being burnt.
I'm gonna put it like this, and we can go to the next topic. I'm gonna end it like this. You guys, everything you're saying is facts, but just from I'm gonna speak from a personal experience. I can kind of see where Charleston coming from. Now, Darren, I know you say trying to get in the groups, different organizations, different things around the community to help. But sometimes when you're trying, they won't let you in. So sometimes you gotta be like, F it, I'm gonna build my own. And that's the point I got to now. When I say schools, I'm not gonna say the school name, but Victor and Craig, you guys know. We reach out to a school 3 times. 3 times. Get an interview. We spoke to them. It's a Black school. No response. I reach out to a white school. Y'all say the school, University of South Carolina, 1 time. Ain't never had an issue with them. Always got a response back. Sometimes, man, and I hate to play that black man versus black man thing, but sometimes it's your reality. Sometimes you can't help it.
And then they try to go in the back door on you when you reach out. When you extend that hand.
Seriously, you can't help it.
You extend the hand.
From my experience, guys,